the NBA is back. And with the NBA being back, we're not totally through like the first week of the season, but it's Sunday and I want to drop these every week. So we're going to react to the first week of the season. Well, we're really going to react to this Bleacher Report article on the first week of the season. So let's get into it. Now, before I dive into this article, like this video. Go ahead, leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You're going to like this video because, I know what I'm talking about, bro. I know ball. So go ahead and leave a like on the video. And if you like this video and you want to see more, you might also subscribe to the channel. That's all I'm saying. Let's react to the article. Alright, so the team we're starting with now is the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Bleacher Report says defense is enough. They're talking about some of the things they had last season. And then they were talking about how Toronto kind of like upped it on them. 138 points, and Atlanta lost by 20. And the thing is, when I add some context to this, Toronto definitely was running up the floor on them. I think one thing Atlanta is going to have to do like this season in order to kind of just improve, especially with the people that they have on the team, it shouldn't be an issue if they have to be better in transition. A lot of this game versus Toronto was simply like Toronto just just going up and down the floor, you know what I'm saying, more than Atlanta, just running in transition, and that's kind of what got them in trouble a lot of the time. And another thing that will also help is if their head coach, Quinn Snyder, would kind of figure out what to do with that offense. The biggest thing with Atlanta over the years has been Trae Young not really being that active off the ball and him being ball dominant, all these different types of things. And now you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who was a phenomenal catch and shoot player for the Timberwolves last year, but he's doing the exact same thing on the Hawks. So it's like, why would I bring in a guy like Nickeil Alexander-Walker to just do all of the things to be ball dominant when that's not what I brought him in for? I brought him in to see what he was doing on the Timberwolves, not for me to see what he can do and possibly become a second star for the Hawks. No, that's what you have Jalen Johnson for. That's what you have Trae Young for. You know what I'm saying? And I know Trae Young has struggled so far this season, but I think Trae Young, bro, he's a superstar. I've seen him go through adversity before. I think he's going to continue. He's just going through a little to start the season, bro. He'll be okay. That is my biggest thing. The defense definitely has to improve. Also, because you just have too many, like I said, too much versatility on this player, on this court for you guys' defense to be a little bit shaky. You know what I'm saying? Next, Boston Celtics. Now, they're saying more salary shredding is on the way. And they're talking about how do we say concerning this opening game was against the Philadelphia 76ers. And don't get me wrong, letting the Philadelphia 76ers with a very bad Joel Embiid performance and a rookie who just decided to have the greatest rookie performance of all time, and you guys come back and win is definitely concerning. But then again, if I'm the Celtics, I'm looking at the roster, bro. If I'm looking at the Celtics roster, I'm not somebody who is like sitting up here and I'm really like worried too much, bro. This is literally a season for the Celtics where it's like it can go good or it can go bad, bro. Lose to the 76ers by one opening night. I'm not really sure. I haven't really paid too close attention to any of the other games they have played. But if I'm Boston, bro, it kind of just is what it is. You're just trying to look to see what sticks. But, I guess salary shredding wouldn't be horrible, but you have to get your guys like Anthony Simons, Sam Hauser, maybe if you want to trade Peyton Pritchard, they have to play better. They have to play better. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. Next is the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, bro, they're going to suck. They're full-fledged tanking. I don't really have much to say about the Nets. The Nets are going to be bad. Michael Porter Jr., I guess he's going to have like more opportunity than ever on the Nets. And we saw that in game one when he started off with 12 and everybody thought he was going to go for like 30 and he started off with like 8 or something like that. I think, but he ended up with 12, something like that, bro. The Nets are going to be bad. They don't have any creator. They're just trying to see what's going to stick. Igor Dimon, hopefully he can be pretty good. He was a guy who I liked coming out of the draft. I thought he had a lot of potential. Hopefully he can show this on Brooklyn. But yeah, they're gonna be ass, guys. The Hornets. Listen, guys, the Hornets look serious. I knew Colin Knuckles was going to be good, but the guy who I really want to highlight is Ryan Kalkbrenner, who was right here, bro. Ryan Kalkbrenner is somebody who, like, throughout the draft, he was a guy who I was just like, why are teams kind of, like, up and down on him? For me, he's the most ideal big for a multitude of teams in the NBA. Like, all up and down this list, I'm sure half of these teams would be like ecstatic if they would have had a guy like Ryan Calburn on the team, because he does everything you would want a modern big to do. He's really good at defending pick and roll. He's just really good on defense at all. He's a very smart player, and he does what he's supposed to do on the opposite end of the court as well. He looks really good. And overall, you can see the difference with the Hornets, because the Hornets, they look really good as well. One thing I will say though, with the Hornets looking like as good as they do, I think a guy like LaMelo and Brandon Miller, now we're kind of used in the past to them like having to, they've basically been doing kind of whatever they want because they really haven't had like a solidified team and pieces around them. Now you have Ryan Calburn, you have Con Knuckle, Brandon Miller is there as well. They have some guys now to kind of just to make this team be serious, right? So if I'm a LaMelo, if I'm a Brandon Miller, let's be serious, right? Chicago Bulls. I can't really say I watched any of their games. Now, one thing I have seen is Matas Buzelis is looking good, and he was looking good in the preseason as well. But you just worry, like, is stuff like that going to carry over to the NBA season, like the actual regular season? And it's looking like it, bro. It's looking like it. And like we said, he had in their season opener, he had 21 points, 7 to 12 shooting, and he blocked three shots, which is very, very impressive, bro. Josh Giddey, I'm not really like too big on Josh Giddey. Like, it's Josh Giddey. It's more focused on like if I'm the Chicago Bulls, even though I know they probably won't do it because it's the Chicago Bulls. Make sure Matas Buzelis is a guy. Keep on developing him. Keep on putting, reps into him so he can go ahead and maybe be, a franchise cornerstone for you guys. Because at this point, y'all need a franchise cornerstone. Y'all haven't really had one since, I would probably say since, like, y'all traded for Zach LaVine. A couple years ago. A lot of years ago. Like a lot of years ago, but you kind of have the guys on the team now, like Matas Buzelis, who you just hope sticks, and you hope that the rookie you drafted, whose name I'm blanking on right now for whatever reason, can perform as well. And you also probably want Nikola Vucevic to keep on putting up performances like 28-14 because you want some team out there to go ahead and try to get him. Point blank simple. Now, Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this says Lonzo can't replace Ty Jerome. I don't know, like, what. I guess I can see where they're coming from this in terms of, like, shooting. But, this is them overreacting. Personally, I feel like Lonzo played really well, and he's played really well so far this season. And, yeah, Ty Jerome was really great offensively in terms of scoring. But the reason why you bring a guy in like Lonzo is because he's more than scoring on Lonzo, right? Like, Lonzo he's showed his impact throughout really the first couple of games. He's facilitating really well. He's, making sure people are in position to be like, to be set up really well in position to score, really be transitioning to half court. He's been really good defensively. He's been really solid. And honestly, that's the thing with Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome, honestly, like, he gave you like a really great performance offensively, but defensively, I don't think he's quite the level of defender as Lonzo Ball. And then really just speaking for the Cavaliers, like, as a whole, I've actually liked what I've seen. I know they lost to the Knicks, but I think the Knicks are probably like the best team in basketball at this point, right? So I'm not really going to hold anything to them on that end. But I kind of enjoy what I've seen from the Cavaliers. I just do wonder, though, what the Cleveland Cavaliers, how you guys going to look throughout the season, and what you guys look like in the playoffs. Honestly, what the Cavaliers do this season, it really doesn't matter to me because I know they're going to be such a great regular season team. I know they're going to be phenomenal, but what are you going to do in the playoffs? Past couple times I've been in the playoffs, have not looked good. It's kind of, it's kind of that time, right? You know what I'm saying? So boom, Dallas Mavericks. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I never thought they were a title contender. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why Stephen A. Smith would go on the show and say like something as dumb as they would win the title. They have been very disappointing this year, though. Anthony Davis, he looks aged, bro. He went up for a dunk the other day and got blocked. He got Victor Wembanyama, where it is Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama literally was picking on Anthony Davis, which is something you just simply do not see from a defender of Anthony Davis's caliber. For him to be sitting up here and literally having somebody go at him and it working. But again, it is Victor Wembanyama. But even like the other games, Anthony Davis just looks slow. He looks sluggish. He looks a little bit out of shape, which, I mean, when we seen some of the camp pictures, it looked like it. So that is really my big concern. And honestly, Cooper Flag has struggled. He's a rookie, though. That's really not the issue. The issue for me has been, why are we running him at point guard? Just because you have a guy who seems like they can be a lead ball handler on your team does not mean they need to run point guard. So can we stop having Cooper Flag run point, guys? Now the issue is, like Jason Kidd said, they have a shortage at the point guard position with Kyrie Irving being out. And sure, you have D'Angelo Russell, but we know the type of guy that D'Angelo Russell is. However, let's just not have Cooper Flag run point guard. It clearly is not working, and I think it honestly, not that's going to do more damage than good, because who knows what's going to happen in the long run. However, I do think you should probably get Coop more adjusted to playing as a natural position. With that being said, I didn't expect the Dallas Mavericks to look this underwhelming throughout the season. I think I don't know if they've won a game, honestly, because I know my Wizards beat them the other day. So I don't know what is totally going on in Dallas. I thought they were going to be like a sneaky little team, but right now they ain't really sneaking anything. They're sneaking towards a number 1 overall pick right now. So we'll just have to see as time to go on. When Kyrie Irving comes back, this team will more than likely look completely different. But I will say I just didn't expect them to look this bad coming out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Boom. All right, next, the Denver Nuggets. I feel like we have to talk about how Nikola Jokic has also looked pretty sluggish to start the season. In this game versus the Warriors, right here, he did not have a good game. I know he had a triple-double and everything, but he was missing key shots down the stretch. He just wasn't the most impactful player on the court, which we're used to seeing. The guy who was the most impactful player was Aaron Gordon, who I think he put up 50, and he put up 50 and shot 10, and he made 10 threes and only missed 1. Now, I don't think that's something that he's going to do often, but if Aaron Gordon is shooting like this, bro, where, in his career he hasn't been known as a shooter, but you're going to have teams guarding him like this, with his explosiveness, he becomes so much more dynamic as a player. It also becomes so much better for, let's say Jokic might have the ball at the top of the key. If Jokic has the ball at the top of the key and you got the defender pressing on Aaron Gordon like this because they're scared of how he might shoot the ball, bro, cut back door and he can just catch a lob and dunk it. He's Aaron Gordon, right? Now, him being an all-star, I don't know about that. I could see it. I mean, shoot, 50 points, 10 for 11 for deep. Shoot, maybe he can be all-star. It looks like Jamal Murray has also been struggling a little bit. And like they said, he's probably going to see an uptick in the shooting with Michael Porter Jr. gone. However, I don't know, bro. I have to see him sustain it. But I will say, bro, ever since even before the Thunder series, Aaron Gordon has looked really good for this Nuggets team. And I still do think the Nuggets will be good. And I think eventually, bro, by Christmas or so, Jokic will be well in shape. He'll be okay. However, really good. So far, the Nuggets definitely have some things they need to work on. Next, the Detroit Pistons. This is didn't really think it was going to happen. This is exactly what I thought. When watching the Detroit Pistons, I think that they still need another guard next to Cade Cunningham, clearly, because the guards that they had last year, Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr., they were pretty good, and Dennis Schroeder really did a great amount for this team coming off the bench and being a lead ball handler, so that way they weren't so reliant on Cade. But now this year you have a Duncan Robinson. I don't think Jaden Ivey is on. I don't think he's quite ready to come back yet. I don't really see a Marcus Sasser. I don't know if Marcus Sasser is going to be able to do this. And obviously we know Duncan Robinson. He is not a secondary ball handler himself. But putting all this tax on Cade Cunningham, like I said, I love Cade Cunningham. I think he's already on the way to superstardom and very close, especially based off of last season. I think he's going to be really nice. However, I will say this. The last year, having a Malik Beasley, having a Tim Hardaway Jr., having a Dennis Schroeder all on your team really helped your team a lot. And those are the type of players you want next to Cade. And losing them, you can definitely feel the loss. You can definitely feel the loss. I mean, I like the way Stu looks. Jalen Duren and all the other guys, they look good, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, last year, bro, it was just different. Now, like I said, long season, anything can happen, bro. I love Cade Cunningham. I think, he'll figure it out. But, yeah. The Golden State Warriors back on the title contenders tier. I'm not going to go this far. I'm not going to go this far. However, this isn't a crazy thing to say. Because the way they looked in the Lakers game, where they absolutely dominated the Lakers, and the way they looked in the Nuggets game, bro. Yeah, they were. Yeah, now I'm not gonna cap, bro. Stephen Curry, he literally took over in the last couple of minutes of that Nuggets game. It's a big reason why I went to overtime and why they eventually ended up winning. And even in this game right here versus the Lakers, Steph didn't even do much. And this is what makes him so dangerous with Jimmy Butler now, because Steph doesn't do much because Jimmy Butler has 31 points. So now Steph is finally able to kind of chill, something he really hasn't been able to do since the championship they won in 2022. And it's very refreshing. So although I'm not going to put the Warriors in the title contenders tier, I have to see some more things down the line in the season. I'm not really mad at somebody saying this, bro. I'm not mad at this overreaction. This is freaking insane. Sorry. This is... Nah, I don't... Yeah, no, this is actually an insane overreaction. I'm not going to go say this. However, Alperen Sengun did look really great in this first game versus OKC Thunder. And he's looked great all season. And the thing that made him look so great is I knew the playmaking was going to improve. I knew all that stuff was going to improve. But the shooting... He's like a legit threat from like beyond. No, I don't say legit threat from beyond that. We gotta see what happens all throughout the season. But he definitely looked really good throughout like the couple of games they have played so far this season, bro. He has looked really impressive. And looks like, I mean, we knew he was gonna be a cornerstone. That's part of the reason why you trade Jalen Green away and you keep him, because you see what he can be. But he's looking real nice. Now, the only thing I would say for the Houston Rockets is that they have to get together. And it was something I made a video, bro, about the I think I made a video about the Thunder. So y'all go ahead and check that out. But I just would like for Kevin Durant to be more aggressive. Kevin Durant, bro, I understand you're 37, but I want you to recognize who you are, bro. You're Kevin Durant, 23 points in a season opener versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not gonna cut it, bro. If you can, I know the level that you can perform at, especially on open night. It's not going to cut it. Now, hopefully throughout the season, Ime Udoka can kind of instill that more into his brain, but didn't see it in the first game. Now, the main thing I would say for the Rockets, and we knew this once Fred VanVleet went out, is they need a point guard. Armin Thompson is not the point guard. Reed Shepherd, he's struggling in this game, but I'm not going to expect somebody who's getting their first round action against probably the best defense in this decade. So I was not going to say I was really expecting Reed Shepherd to do too much. Hopefully he can improve throughout the season because they're going to need him. However, the Rockets definitely need a point guard, and that kind of puts a lot of things in questions for the Rockets, especially if you're a Rockets fan, because it's like, if there's a bridge year, but you got KD sitting up here who is 38, and I mean, who's 37, he'll be 38 next year. Do you really think the 38-year-old KD is going to be ready? It's a bunch of different things that come into play. Fred VanVleet being out this year, and obviously, so far this season, Amin Thompson and Reed Shepherd are just not able to fill that point guard role. And I feel like that's kind of a theme. I feel like when we get into more teams, we're going to see that theme. Like, teams at the point guard, it's just really they're really struggling so far this season. And I think for the Rockets, that's their biggest thing right now. Who is going to kind of be the lead ball handler for that team that can play that point guard role? Right now, we just simply do not know. Next, Indiana Pacers. Oh my goodness, bro. First game of the season, you play against the OKC team who beat you in the finals last year in Game 7. A devastating game. Now you come into this game without Tyrese Halliburton, and you actually end up losing Andrew Nembhard in the first 17 minutes of this game, like they said right here. And you still are able to go into a double overtime because Bennedict Mathurin is over here giving you 36 points, and Pascal gives you I think Pascal gave him 32. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think this still is a gap year for them because I don't see them being title contenders. But if Bennedict Mathurin can play like this, bro, it's gonna get scary. Now, hopefully Andrew Nembhard can come back and he can be healthy and he can, show the type of guy he is. But Bennedict Mathurin might be the most improved player of the year and not Andrew Nembhard, especially with the way he has not only played in this game, but so far this season, we're seeing a big improvement from Bennedict Mathurin. And I think that's the biggest story for the Indiana Pacers. Bennedict Mathurin is a guy who he brings a different level, a different element to the Indiana Pacers, right? He's so explosive, he's very athletic, and Indiana Pacers don't really have too many guys like that on the team outside of Obi Toppin, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to have a Bennedict Mathurin who also has the same type of impact for like a kind of equated to like Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, to where before the Warriors had Jimmy Butler, they really were not getting to the free throw line a whole lot because they were a perimeter-centric team. Jimmy Butler forces the offense to slow down. He drives. He creates like contact. He goes to the free throw line. Bennedict Mathurin does the same thing, and you can see it. He was 15 for 17 from the free throw line in that game against the Thunder. And I'm not saying he's gonna make an All-Star push or anything like that. Like, I don't think so. But he definitely has looked really good this year for the Pacers. All right, let's get into the next team. The Los Angeles Clippers are too old. I can see how you're getting here because, like, yeah, like they said it right here, bro. You lost to the Utah Jazz by 40 points. I mean, by 20 points. My fault. But you were down to Utah Jazz by 40 points at one point in the opening game. This was the same team who was like, they looked pretty good last year, bro. And you're over here losing to the Utah Jazz. Not really a good look. Kawhi Leonard played bad. James Harden did not look good at all. And hopefully, bro, this is just the team having to get warmed up. And, you know, they just got to figure out some stuff as the season goes on. But even just watching the game, bro, this Clippers team they don't look really too enticing right now. They just, plain and simple, they don't, bro. Not at all. Next, boom, the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka's the face of the franchise. I don't want to talk about that. Hold up. Let's talk about this individual right here, bro. Ayton. Yeah, let's talk about this guy right here, bro. let's yo. This I'm not a Lakers fan. Not at all. But he has to be better. Plain and simple, he has to be better, bro. DeAndre Ayton, I mean, I spoke about it. Well, no, I spoke about it on TikTok and things like that. But DeAndre Ayton is just not looking good. He's not assertive enough out there on the court. He's not really establishing his presence. He's not really being that very like assertive like out there on the court, bro. He doesn't really set screens for real. He doesn't really drive to the basket. He'll stop at mid range, and even if he does like actually go down to the basket, he's not actually sitting up here going up forcefully and using like his his leverage and things of that nature. He's being soft, bro. He's not being a big man. And then on defense, he's not really commanding any type of like. I'm not expecting DeAndre Ayton to be an anchor of any of the sorts, but it just doesn't look good, bro. I'm gonna be real. So like, yeah, just Luka stuff is cool. Facing a franchise, he put up 50 or 49 the other day on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it was a big reason why they won that game. Don't really care, bro. DeAndre Ayton has to fix it, man. Yeah, Memphis, bro. This is actually becoming like they're becoming like one of my teams this season, in which, bro, Ja Morant came out and he was balling in his first game back, bro. 35 points, 13 and 20 from the floor. He just looked really good. And another big reason, I heard he finally started wearing ankle braces, and as we all know with Stephen Curry, that was a pretty big reason as to why he was able to be better. As his career was able to sustain itself as long as it has. Ja Morant has started to put ankle braces on. He had a very good game in the opening game. Last game, he didn't have the best game on the Grizzlies, and that's because none other than Cedric Coward was balling out, bro. Cedric Coward was one of my guys in this draft. In this past draft class, Cedric Coward was one of my guys that I was really like looking forward to. And I mean, shoot, bro. As you can see, I think he put up like 27 yesterday. You can see why. I know ball, bro. Point blank, period. You know what I be talking about when it comes to this hoop stuff. And Cedric Coward looked really good. And I think if Ja Morant can continue to do his thing, especially in this new offense that they're running, more high pick and roll, kind of allows Ja to go back to the older version of himself. The Memphis Grizzlies can be a very sneaky team out there out west. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. Wow, Heat culture is dead. I will say, actually, bro, I've been very impressed by the Heat offensively throughout this season. The Heat offense looks like pretty exciting. I'm going to be honest, bro. The Heat look like a pretty exciting offense out there on the court. They are like putting up points. Like when they were playing against the Magic, if I'm not mistaken, they were actually like winning for a good amount of the games. I mean, the Magic went or they were actually competitive. I can't remember, bro. It was so long ago. But they're actually looking pretty decent. And that is just really not something that I expected from a Heat team, especially when like Tyler Hero isn't even on the court. But of course, I guess they're more so focused. If I like read it, I kind of was reading it as I was talking. But more thing about defensive prowess. You're playing Orlando, and I'm gonna get to Orlando like next. But yeah, defensively, I guess they're a bit underwhelming. But I'm not really expecting anything crazy out of Miami this year. They're the Heat. They don't have anything on this team. Like Bam is not going to be a guy that's going to lead this team as far as you think they can go or nothing like that. So yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. This brother might win MVP. That this brother might. Yeah, this brother. Yeah, I seen what he was doing against my Washington Wizards, bro. You might got it, big bro. You might got it. Outside of Giannis, bro, with the Bucks. That's really just the main thing. Clearly, like they're taking a lot of threes this season, all these different type of things, like they're talking about in this article. But my main takeaway is that Giannis is going to win MVP, and I really don't want to say too much about how the team can perform this season. I just want to see how much further the season goes to really have a for sure view of this team. But yeah, man, Giannis for MVP, I guess. Anthony Edwards. First game versus the Trailblazers with a very legit Trailblazer defense. I can't wait till we get to them. Yo, Anthony Edwards gave them like 40, I think. Like he gave them, what he said? Yeah, 41 points against a very legit, very good Portland Trailblazers defense. Scoring title, I mean, maybe. I don't really want to say anything like that. But Anthony Edwards is going to be legit. Now, here's the thing. The Minnesota Timberwolves have to get a point guard. Same thing I talked about with the Houston Rockets earlier. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they desperately need a point guard, bro. They're not actually, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything until they get a point guard. Because when you have a point guard on your team, when you have, like, somebody on your team who can kind of, I don't want to say control the traffic, but just control the chaos in that half court, can I kind of just, while Ant is doing his thing off the ball, all these people are doing things off the ball, they can kind of just, make sure things are going right, distribute all these types of things. You need that. And maybe Anthony Edwards, his playmaking and ball handling, like as we've seen, he's definitely a top lead ball handler in the NBA. And he could be that for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but I think they would benefit really well if Mike Conley or Rob Dillingham just like pop. But neither of them have popped, and that's a big reason why Dante DiVincenzo was starting that point guard for them. Zion Wilson, bro. I really like what Zion has been on, bro. I really like what Zion has been doing so far, especially when they played who they played? They played the Spurs. The Spurs beat them. Naturally, the Pelicans are not really that good. However, Zion was going at Vic relentlessly, bro. And I really like to see that aggressiveness from Zion. Now, outside of that, the New Orleans Pelicans are another team. Hopefully, Jeremiah Fears can pop like I would really love for him to, as he's also one of my guys. They need a lead guard as well, because I really don't like seeing Jordan Poole running the lead guard for them, bro. He is not a lead guard. It didn't work. He wasn't that in Golden State. It didn't work when he was in Washington. Why you thought he was gonna go to the Pelicans and be a lead guard? Don't really know, bro. Don't really know. But Zion, yeah, man, keep doing your thing, bro. The New York Knicks. Watching Pee Wee the Plug, or Pierre, and he is saying this is his team. He's saying that they're the best in the Eastern Conference. And honestly, there's nothing I can say at this point in time to disagree with him. They played against the Cavaliers in the first game of the season. Garland was not playing, true. But they were also missing Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, and they were in control of that game from majority of the game. Donovan Mitchell, you know how Donovan Mitchell does, make a big run, cut the lead down, da-da-da. The Knicks still were doing their thing. They still look really good defensively. And offensively, that's why I was really excited for them to get a coach like Mike Brown. Jalen Brunson is not the main focal point of their offense. Like he is, but he's not in the same way. He was being off ball. I think he had a catch and shoot three in this game versus the Cavaliers. And that's what I really want to see. And I really hope it sustains itself throughout the season, because the New York Knicks are very talented. Do not get me wrong. They are a very talented group of guys. However, for this team to really reach its full potential, and this goes for any team that thinks they can compete, except like the OKC Thunder who won the championship last year, you have to have a dynamic offense with some off-ball movement to where you don't have just somebody hogging the ball the whole time. And if they're not making offense for you, they can't do it. That is what I was seeing from like especially in like their first couple of games, and I've seen in the preseason a little bit as well. Have other guys be involved except for Jalen Brunson, so just bring the ball up to create plays and do all these different types of things. Because one thing I did hate about this Tom Thibodeau era, bro, it was very annoying to see Jalen Brunson come up the court, and I knew exactly what was going to happen every time. Didn't really like seeing that. Boom. All right, OKC Thunder will break the no repeat streak. I'm not gonna lie, this is not crazy. This is not crazy. The OKC Thunder look like they haven't taken a step back. Actually, you could argue that the OKC Thunder look better now than they did earlier in the season. I mean, than they did last season, bro. The defense looks legit. The offense looks about the same. I definitely saw in that Pacers game the same issue that I saw with them last year is that they don't really have a offense. They don't really run plays. They don't have anything to go to when stuff breaks down. And that is very concerning for me. But I mean, OKC Thunder, bro, they won the championship last year. They've won majority. I mean, they've won their games this season as well, bro. They'll be okay. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might go for MVP again, honestly, bro, because that's their offense, bro. When in the late moments when it's time to be clutch, bro, they just give Shai the ball and they let Shai cook, and he's been cooking, bro. So it's also without Jalen Williams. So my goodness, if Jalen Williams comes back. And the way Chet Holmgren has been playing, yeah, bro. The OKC Thunder, they're title contenders, bro. Surprise, surprise. Orlando Magic. Now listen, Orlando Magic, I like the way they look. There's one thing I don't like. I'm gonna get into that later. But one thing I say, if we're just talking about before we even get into the new additions, Franz Wagner has looked very good because it seems like he's gaining confidence in shooting the three ball, and that was a concern. But obviously now I think he's been way better. Also, getting into the new acquire of Desmond Bane and even Tristan da Silva, bro. They have some real shooting on this team now, bro. They have some real shooting on this team, and you can't really, like they said, you can no longer crowd around Franz and Paolo and their drives and things like that because you have legit threats from the outside now. I felt like in that game they had versus the Heat where the Heat were actually competing and challenging them. There were shots and plays made down the line by Desmond Bane is what you bring a Desmond Bane in for. So you can be legit. Now, one thing I will say I am concerned about is Paolo Banchero. I just want Paolo Banchero to realize that he's like a 6'8" or 6'9", 6'10", something like that, bro. I want him to realize that he is that big, and when you have a guy like Davion Mitchell on you, bro, just run him over. Bro, you're too big, and I feel like he just settles too much. And it's not to say he's not capable of making a shot. He's very capable of making a shot, which is why he is viewed the way he is. But I don't need that from you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Take it if you have to, but you're too big. I really would like him to be more aggressive downhill. For Philadelphia 76ers, I'm not mad at this, bro. Joel Embiid didn't look good in their season opener. He's been voicing frustrations about his minutes restriction, but bro, you've been coming off a very very concerning amount of injuries. You haven't really looked good for a good amount of the season. I mean, for a good amount. You didn't really look good in the preseason. You didn't really look good in this opener in the 20 minutes that you played. Like I said, 1 from 9 from the field, minus 16. Honestly, if VJ Edgecombe was not on this team, it wouldn't look good. But it looks like VJ Edgecombe, 34 points, bro. Literally the best rookie performance of all time. Broke LeBron James' record for points in the first quarter by a rookie. Tyrese Maxey had 40 points. Yeah, bro, I'm not going to lie. If I'm the Sixers, I'm probably looking to rebuild. It's time to rebuild. Paul George isn't back. Who knows what he's going to look like when he comes back. Joel Embiid isn't looking so good. Who knows when they're going to take this minutes restriction off of him. And if he looks better when he gets a minutes restriction off him. Who knows? All I'm saying is, I think that from the Sixers, bro, let's just go in the other way. Let's go in the other direction, right? Maybe I'm overreacting. Who knows? Yeah, man. For Phoenix Suns, simply put, culture. Dillon Brooks has really looked really good for his team, but they have a culture now that I really don't think they have had since they went to the finals with Monty Williams and Devin Booker and Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges and all of them boys on that team. But now I feel like the new coach, Jaden Ott, has definitely implemented some type of battery in the back of this team. And having a guy like Dillon Brooks, who is, not going to lie, bro, he's looked really impressive on this team, not just from an offensive standpoint, but just you can tell the impact of him on defense and the energy because they look way better on defense. They've definitely been hitting the boards really hard, which might be like emphasis from Jay Knight. Who knows? That's probably what I would attribute it to, but who knows? Like I said, but a lot of that is because of Dillon Brooks, and of course, like we know Devin Booker, he's going to get his stuff off, bro. Cool, but Dillon Brooks has looked really good in my opinion. He's probably gonna like set a career high and might even have his best season on this his best season yet. But I do want to give him his credit. He's looked really well. The Phoenix Suns, if you're a Suns fan, bro, just take the season as it is. Y'all have looked like as good as y'all can. But I really like what Dillon Brooks has shown so far this season. Portland Trail Blazers, this is funny. Jeremy Grant being paid all this money is coming off of the bench, and he has looked phenomenal. So this is actually pretty valid as to why they're saying he might be traded because that trade value is definitely up. Trade value definitely up, but I ain't gonna lie to you. However, outside of this Portland Trailblazers defense, I mean Anthony Edwards had talked about it, but this Portland Trailblazers defense is legit, bro. Suffocating, they're gonna be a top defense in the NBA this season, undoubtedly, bro. Undoubtedly, and yeah, my only concern for them is who is going to pop offensively for them. Will Scoot finally pop? Will Shaedon finally pop? What's going to happen? And who's their head coach going to be? Don't really want to say too much more on that, actually. Let's go ahead and go to the Kings. Yeah, blah, boom, boom. All right, for the Kings, trade all the vets. I mean, yeah, the Sacramento Kings, they need to rebuild. There's really not much to really say about the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, sure. Like, bro, get rid of everybody. Sabonis, DeMar, Zach has actually been looking pretty freaking good so far this season. So, yeah, get rid of everybody, bro, please. I don't have much to say about the Kings, bro. They suck. Yeah, man. I'm not here yet, but I'm not here yet. But he is the GOAT. That first game versus the Mavericks, it's crazy. There was literally nothing that you can do. And even earlier today, like this is a Sunday, as you can see, I'm filming this like on the Sunday, bro. He had like 31 points, and I think like another like double or something like that. I think against the Pelicans, he had 9 blocks. Bro, Vic is looking insane in year 3. Like it feels like he's taken the leap already to be what we thought he could be. And honestly, with the way Dylan Harper has looked, he had a very solid game with 20 points today. The Spurs, bro, they might be here like earlier than anticipated, and that is scary to think about. But I think, yeah, bro, it's really not much to say other than this. Victor Wembanyama, bro, he's Victor Wembanyama. The Toronto Raptors head to the playoffs. Now, I will say, I feel like I've said that a lot this video, but in that game versus the Hawks, I was very impressed, like I said, with how great the offense was running. Scotty Barnes had a good game. Brandon Ingram looked really good with the ball in his hands, and RJ Barrett didn't really look like he was stagnating anything. However, they look really good, man. Getting it out in transition, they didn't really shoot the ball too well, but they definitely gave the Hawks, a team who we thought their defense was actually going to be pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? They gave the Hawks a run for their money, bro. Got to give it to them. Utah Jazz, they're going to be bad, but. Yeah, Laurie isn't going to be traded just because, like, nobody wants to pay that type of money for him. But I really want Ace Bailey to get it together. And who for this team is going to stick out? Who for this team is going to stick out? It's going to be a Bryce Sensabaugh. It's going to be a Keontae George. Is it going to be a Ace Bailey? Who is going to stick out? That is the main thing I'm looking for at this Utah team, bro. Walker Kessler has looked really good. With actually like shooting 3, didn't really expect that. But who is going to stick out for this team? The Washington Wizards. Love talking about Washington Wizards. It's my favorite team in the NBA. Somebody would trade for Chris Middleton. I don't know. Maybe not. He's a bit old. But the main thing I want to say with the Washington Wizards, bro, this guy right here. This guy right here. He's the one. He's the one. A Swiss Army knife, do-it-all guy. He's the one, bro. He is truly the one. Like, so far, this game is going on right now. But, look, 200 points versus the Bucks. This is a really good debut. I really love the way he looked. 34 against the Mavericks, bro. They went over there at Dallas and they dominated. He has a double-double and he's shooting the ball really well. And he's looks like he's established himself as a cornerstone for our franchise. And whoever that we end up drafting this upcoming year, because we're not gonna sit up here and be playoff contenders or nothing like that, bro. Looks like he is going to be able to. He's going to be able to come out here and establish himself as a lead player and the top guy on this young core of the rookies team, to where like that's really the main thing we need, bro. Yeah, it's cool. We talk about Chris Middleton and all these different types of things. Whatever, bro. This is who we are locked in on. This is who I'm locked in on. Alex Sarr has looked really good as well. And people are Trey Johnson. I mean, I knew Trey Johnson was going to be good, but hey. But, yeah, man. This is the one. This the one, man. This the one. But that's really it for me. Those are my reactions and, my first iteration of NBA Weekly. You know what I'm saying? This is how I'm feeling about every single NBA team. Yeah, man, so if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, because I know you enjoyed the video because you stayed and watched it till this time. Go ahead and subscribe as well. You might as well hit that subscription. And that's really all I got, bro. We'll be back later. Till next time. Peace.